Hi everybody, in today's video I'm interviewing Sierra Sullivan, who happens to be my wife and business partner, and we're going to be discussing some of the differences that have been in our business, and more specifically related to Sierra and who she was in business then and who she is in business now, and how that affects both me and all of the people in her lives, both clients, friends, family, all of those things. So welcome.
Welcome. Hi there. All right, ladies, this one's for you. One of the things that we want to help you shift out of is what we call joy sucker syndrome.
Yes, it kind of sucks in the name, as you can tell, joy sucker syndrome. And what we have found is that this syndrome is predominant, it's everywhere. Over 90% of women in business suffer from this, and it's a hidden suffering. You may not even realize that you're actually having this challenge, but here's a sign that you know that you have this. If you have a lot of success and then you don't have as much success, and then you have a lot of success and then not as much, you definitely will be suffering from joy sucker syndrome.
The other piece is if you're feeling completely drained and exhausted at the end of the day, wishing you had more energy for your partner, your husband, your boyfriend, whoever it is, wishing that you weren't shoving your kids off to, play games or be on the internet or, whatever, because you really want to spend time with them, but you're exhausted and there's still more emails to be written and more calls to be made. And
yeah, and one more, there's many more, but one more too is if you feel like a fraud sometimes in your business, or you feel like you need another degree, or you feel that you might not be good enough to put that message out there, you most likely have joy sucker syndrome. So we're going to go into detail on this, and we're also going to give you an opportunity to join us for a longer conversation later this week. But for now, let's continue the dialogue. All right, so business 8 years ago when we first got started, you came to me, we started up a startup together, great little business, and you were running a magazine, you were the CEO, the chief bottle washer.
Chief cook and bottle washer.
Yep, the whole 9 yards. And I didn't really mind too much because I wasn't in relationship with you, and I was just like, wow, there's a girl that knows what she wants. She works all the time. I like to work all the time too, so it's
kicking
great.
butt and taking names, or so it seemed.
Yeah, so tell me, describe for me, and you had successful businesses, describe for me, regardless of your success, regardless of how you felt, what were you feeling like? What was the underlying what is the word I'm looking for? The underlying feeling, the underlying
Sensation,
the underlying
angst.
Yeah, well, there you go. So maybe it's angst. Like, what was really going on for you, regardless of the perceived success or the actual success?
Well, I'll just say this. I got into my business because I had a passion, I had a mission, I had a message, and I wanted to make a difference in the world. So I started out really excited and really, really, really in my joy to be creating this business, as most of us do. And so after time, I started realizing what it took to run a business, the day-to-day activity, everything I had to learn, all the amount of outreach that took for my marketing in order to be able to get people to take notice of what I was offering, the amount of infrastructure that was needed to be built, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, so you got into it feeling great, and then as the business progressed, all of a sudden you realized you had all this extra things to do, and it wasn't just, oh, I'm going to go help some people. Like, reality set in. And
yeah, and
what
not just,
happened?
well, and not even just reality. Yeah, reality set in, and the excitement of all the possibilities and all the opportunities to take advantage of came about as well. You see, when you're excited about your business, you get excited about all sorts of opportunities, and you want to take advantage of every single one. That's not always helpful.
So again, how did this impact your body? How did this impact your bottom line? Where were you these 6, 7, 8 years ago?
I was killing myself. I was working really, really, really long hours. I was, experiencing, up, down, all around with my income. I was definitely not very fun to be around. I was less social. I was ignoring my body. I wasn't really feeling good in my body. I was not really paying attention to what I was eating. I wasn't sleeping that great because I was really caught in all of this doing.
And before this interview, we were talking that You also said that your family and your friends kind of did, not that they didn't like you, but they pushed you away a little bit as well.
No, no, no. It actually didn't push me away. They actually wanted more of me, but they were really annoyed because my business was coming first, and they felt less important. They didn't get as much time and space with me, and they were supportive to some degree, but it also became like, oh, Sierra's, you know, a little bit addicted to her success or her business, and they started to wonder about my motives.
Okay, and this is, sometimes it can be confusing because there is a fine line between putting your energy and your focus in and staying within a certain container so that you can safely move forward and not get dragged down by naysayers or people. This is very important in wealth consciousness as well, which we were also talking about earlier. So through the process, over the years, let's now fast forward to 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and your business, you went from making a certain livelihood, and then in a very short amount of time, you doubled your income, then doubled it again, and the amount of fun that you had also doubled, and then doubled again, and a lot of it's related to this joy sucker syndrome that we're talking about, that you started to become aware, and because we were in partnership, we both were aware, because we're constantly doing the work with each other and ourselves. That's what the beauty of, and sometimes the challenge is with co-committed relationships like this. But you started to uncover a whole new world. Can you describe that for me and what it was like for you from the past now into this more present moment?
Well, what I started to realize that I was caught in a paradigm, and that paradigm was what I call the masculine paradigm. I was doing business in a way that was not aligned with my highest good, and it was completely discounting a whole other piece of the puzzle, which is the feminine paradigm, which is being more available to knowing what I needed, to resting when I need to rest, to being softer in my approach, to not...
Listening to your body and heart.
Yeah, listening to my body, listening to my heart, being more guided intuitively, so then I could know where to put my tangible action, which would, you know, benefit my business in the best ways. And one of the things that helped me realize it was that besides the fact that my results were showing me that something was off, meaning things were not going according to plan, was also getting more in relationship with you. And the effect that that had on not only our business and working relationship, but our relationship in the bedroom, our relationship, our emotional relationship, and just even our romantic relationship. I wasn't really that fun to be around as a woman, even though I thought I'm this powerhouse chick and I'm rocking it. At the end of the day, I was pretending, and inside I was dying. I didn't think I was pretending, but from the outside it looked like I had it all together, and on the inside I knew that something wasn't right and my life was not working in the way that I really desired it to work.
Yeah, and when we have this deeper dialogue this Saturday on our call, or on our virtual seminar, we're going to go deeper into this. And we're going to talk a little bit about relationship too, and how it can work in relationship. And it was very, very challenging, because the only thing she wanted to be held, but as soon as you'd come in to hold, it was like, back off, buddy, I got more things to do. So it was this perpetual and I know that a lot of you women can relate to this, because I've had these conversations with you, and it's kind of a universal problem. And so what would you say? So we've defined the problem, we've defined where you were, where you are. And if you could give the women that are watching this right now in the next minute here, just a taste of what we're going to be giving them this Saturday, as like a tool or a feeling that you now are in, because I know I can speak about it a little bit. The fun in our relationship is like 10 zillion times more. It's like so much more fun. It's easy to get along with her. I feel safe to say what's on my mind and know that I'm not going to get, like, you know, blown up at or things like that. And we can collaborate on a much more emotional and spiritual and fun level. So what is it like for you killing those joy suckers and being in more pleasure around your life?
Well, things flow so much easier. I mean, out of the many hours that I would work banging my head against the wall.
I want to tickle you, I don't know why.
Talk about more fun. You know, I would bang my head against the wall for hours instead of really leaning back into the feminine, leaning back into this softer side of myself, the more playful, pleasureful part of myself, and getting the wisdom and information much quicker. So I wasted a whole lot of time and energy to create things, and we can shortcut that process. So one of the big tools that we'll be teaching you on the seminar this Saturday is literally a tool to shortcut that process, just like what I'm talking about. There's some specific ways that you can notice when you're in that banging your head against the wall mode, and how to call yourself on it, and then what to do in that moment that will then always bring you the wisdom that you're seeking, like that.
Yeah, I think that's a huge one. It's amazing the more that you and I, we're both in this process, and one of the things we teach in your other program is the lean back, which is kind of what you're talking about here. It gives you so much more perspective, that it's not just, should I do A, B, or C? When you give yourself that space, and when we'll teach you this tool, you'll be able to be like, oh, duh, it's B, of course, or whatever that particular challenge is. So it saves you more and more time in the long run, even though at first it might seem like you're wasting time, but it's amazing how it shortcuts the process. And now I'm watching our business already just in a few short months, because we've even taken this another level, just boom, 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 boom. So it's really fun. Cool.
And not just externally, but internally. It just feels better. It looks better, it feels better, and the results are better.
Awesome. So this Saturday, you have 3 spots to choose from. It's 10 a.m., 1 p.m., and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's Joy Suckers. You can go to lifestyleize.com/joysuck or Joy Suckers, either one. And that'll bring you right to the page, and you can register to be on this virtual seminar. It's only happening this Saturday, and that's the only time you'll be able to get it. So I strongly recommend, if you're a woman in business, that you sign up and check this out.
All right, we'll see you there.